because they're very maneuverable and they're fun and they're kind of floaty and kind of slower. And then as you get into your mid tiers, you start to see single engine jets with propellers. And then as you get into the higher tiers, you start to see like full-on Korean War jets, which has more of a jousting feel. It's more of like a target acquisition, and then you sort of zoom out, and then you come back. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just that did not work out as well as I had hoped it would. I was like, I'll just stay down here, not be noticed, and I was noticed very quick. So let's get back in there.
So if in a battle like you can see him doing, if you lose, you can just escape right out, go back to your hangar, pick another plane, keep going at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's our holiday hangar. Super cool.
Yeah. I also noticed there's a number of different planes from each tier that are allowed in the battle at one time.
Yeah, so it's 15 on 15, and Matchmaker does its best to sort of make sure that things are balanced. But typically, as sort of the population keeps growing, you're going to see, we try to keep a 2-tier spread. So you should only see a plane 1 tier higher or lower than what you're at.
Okay. Maybe I'm too low of a tier then.
Do you want to see... you can keep climbing up in tiers and check out how the different gameplay feels.
All right, let's go ahead and jump up then. And is it the tier in the top left corner, that Roman numeral?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And if you want to check out like the whole thing, you can click on your tech tree button, and it should show you nation by nation. The tech tree button is up top next to hangar.
Okay, well, we're just now getting back in, but after this death,
oh, okay, yeah.
We'll go ahead and we'll jump in there and take a look at texture. No, that's fine. You're a couple seconds behind, so.
Yeah, I'm watching at a delay. And if anybody in chat has any questions, please feel free to ask me. I'll do my best to answer.
And for the person who asked about Chief, I don't think he will be on tonight. He'll probably be on tomorrow, though. But in the meantime, hang around and check out World of Warplanes and this P-51D.
Nice. It's a great plane. Let's see, some of the other things that were in this last update. We added another chapter to our training missions. So if you get in, as you said before, World of Warplanes is free to play, it's free to download. And once you get in, it's a good idea to run through our tutorials and sort of familiarize yourself with these different mechanics.
Oh, definitely feeling different on this one. Like, it's a lot looser.
Yeah, and it should make it so that close proximity to other planes is a little bit more dangerous because you have a little less control. It's a lot faster, or maybe less control is not the right word. Just a bigger turning radius. This is one of my favorite maps because it feels like you showed up just after a major battle, and everything's like in carnage and on fire. So it just has a good mood and tells a good story.
I hope I just didn't shoot one of my own ships. I don't think I did.
No, yeah.
At least I'm going to tell myself I didn't.
If it's got a red dot above it, feel free to fire on it. We do have carrier-based aircraft to answer sort of the discussion about torpedoes. But for now, they just drop bombs. They don't actually drop torpedoes that then travel in the water.
But that would be cool.
It would be. It would be very cool. So in front of your enemy, there should be this red sort of lead circle.
Yeah, I kind of figured that one out, that there's a red lead circle you want to try and aim at. I was originally aiming at like the red diamonds, and then figured out that was not the right thing to be at.
And then if you press W, it'll give you your boost, and hit S, it'll cut your throttle.
Yeah,
W is good for...
I'm getting torn by, I think, that guy right there. My fuel tank, I'm getting ready to die.
Yeah, you're taking just very consistent fire.
I felt like I had multiple people aiming at me. I think, in fact, that it was showing that multiple different people were hitting me. It's like, I'm just done. All right, let's try and get back in that plane, though. I like the feel.
Yeah, it's a really fun plane. I see Azriel is here in our chat box. I wonder, is that Azriel, who is also a regular of our... I hope so. If it is, good to see you.
Oh, so the
Sometimes...
D is in battle and out of it. Let's go over here. Let's go with the H. Feel like zoom out? I'm already dead. By the time you tell me to zoom out, I've been dead like by a minute. But I appreciate the concern. As opposed to, oh, you're terrible. So I got the new training missions. What's up with the shooting mechanic rebalance?
So prior to this update, if you had altitude is a big part of dogfighting, and if you had the higher altitude, you had that advantage. You could dive down on people, and your firing would actually be more accurate. Whereas if I was coming up to meet you, my shots would be dispersed like a shotgun blast, and so it gave you the advantage. And so for a while, that sort of climbing and diving technique was overpowering just how the flow of battle would work. And so what we did was we made it so that altitude advantage doesn't provide you additional accuracy.
Okay.
I realize this is very deep mechanics for folks who are just getting into the game, but basically we created so people are on equal ground, even if I'm higher or you're lower. And so it's really helped the balance between heavy fighters who are high altitude planes and the light fighters, which are like lower altitude planes. And the idea behind these altitude bands in general is just to create unique roles and characteristics of these planes, you know, and also to depict earnestly how they behaved and performed in battle historically, like what their purpose was. So I hope that sort of clears it up.
It's even on like one of the intro things about using the altitude to your advantage. Start the battle with a climb
Yes.
to ambush your enemy and a diving attack.
Absolutely. Hey, Haswell is here with us. Haswell is easily one of the best pilots on the North American server. He is amazing.
We should be friends, because I'm terrible.
Yes. I just try to siphon as much information and knowledge as I can from the best and brightest pilots. So luckily, we have in the office with us some really incredible pilots.
Oh, this one feels even different than the last one. I like this one.
Each nation even has its own particular feels. One of my favorite planes to fly in, like just for enjoyment, are the Japanese planes. But they're one of those things where if you can master them, you're going to do really well. But if you're a mediocre pilot like myself, you're going to really struggle because they can't take a lot of fire. But they're just super.
That's because you have to work at wargaming. You don't get to play at wargaming.
Right. If I could just devote more hours. But when done well, it's incredible. It's just one of those things that's hard to master.
This is not a very good strategy on my part. All right, let's get out.
I see Dr. Sinister has joined us. He's also an incredible pilot. We're lucky to have in our community, we have all these incredibly skilled people, and they're really cool about sharing their knowledge and helping other people get better. Very cool group of people. Because I'm watching in a delay, I can't give you any advice, so I just have to passively watch.
It's quite all right. I'm hoping that I got some friends out there.
But I mean, you're doing pretty well. Just intuitively, you know, like, oh man, someone's on my 6. I got to try to get out of there.
Player destroyed my aircraft. I'm just kind of flying. This is like the best crash animation ever because I haven't actually crashed yet.
Nice.
I think that I'm actually going to take longer to crash than it actually took me to get shot down.
Yeah, you were like at just a right angle, so you can sort of continue to get lifted.
Just hover that one out through.
Almost like a decoy, because I see enemies are still trying
to
engage.
They're like
Like, did you finish that guy?
I know. I'm like that duck that's out there in the lake, and all the other ducks come up to him like,
Right.
something's wrong with this duck.
Checking it out. Like,
And then a hunter shoots him.
Right.
Dead.
Oh, man. What else is there to cover?
Well, we haven't talked about... I don't think you talked about the supremacy rebalance, the improved mouse control, some more historically accurate aircrafts.
With the supremacy rebalance, what we really wanted was we wanted to make the ground attack planes more influential over whether or not the team wins, because we weren't feeling like they were crucial enough, and so that's what that change was about. It was about making it so important, the progress they're making on bombing ground targets, and it definitely had even maybe more of an impact than we wanted. So right now you have to make the decision. You have to be like, do I want to engage enemy fighter planes? Do I want to protect my ground attack planes? Do I want to attack the enemy's ground attack planes? And so it makes a more dynamic environment. And it was a major change, and we're just kind of, from a development standpoint, we're just sort of watching to see how people's strategies adjust to this big change, and just sort of play it by ear from there. I think one of my absolute favorite things about wargaming is that when we release a game, it's the very beginning of our game's life, and we're very committed to our games, and we use our community as sort of a rudder to steer us in how we develop those games. And so if you look at something like World of Tanks and you compare its release build until now, it's just this incredibly different beast. And World of Warplanes is going to be the same. You know, we're going to continue to stay with it and nurture it and evolve it and use our player base to help tell us where we can grow.
Well, I've come to the conclusion that if I'm going to sit here and try to attack ground targets, which apparently I'm just drawn to, I should get a different plane, or at least get a plane with a bomb on it, and we can talk about that. So I'm actually in the tech tree right now, and I've quickly glanced through the 5 different nations that are represented, and I have to stick with the USA because I just can't.
Yeah,
I can't the other ones. So, anyways, maybe the UK just because, but USA. So, anyways.
I think you'll have fun with the F4F Wildcat, which is a tier 5. It's right in the middle of the game. It's kind of what I consider the sweet spot when it comes to fun. And you'll see that right in the US Tech Tree, F4F. And you can equip that with bombs or rockets, and I think it'll be a good time. And
I just researched some bombs. I got the 6x5 Hivar Mark IVs.
Cool.
And now, how do I actually... Are those going to be just automatically equipped on my plane when I go to try and join the battle? Or is there anything special I have to do?
No, if you have mounted them...
Well, that's...
I think if you right-click it, it'll tell you whether or not it's mounted.
Okay.
But you can also view it in the hangar, and you'll just see them on there.
Purchase and mount.
Yes. So they should be
sitting
on there. You can also go to service, and I think from the service screen you can also decide which bombs are on there or not. All
right. So you said it was tier 5 F4F? Yep. Okay, there it is right there.
F4F Wildcat. And once you get into battle, I'll sort of talk you through how to change views but I have to agree with some of the advice in the chat room. There are definitely some other nations that have really formidable ground attack planes.
The only time I root for the Russians is when I'm watching the Americans. Okay, that's it.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not going to play the Russians in a wargaming.
Hey, to each his own. We bring them all, so everyone finds something that they really like. The German line, the Messerschmitt line, is also really powerful.
Oh, that reminds me. We haven't talked about the Focke-Wulfs join the fight.
Oh, that's right, the Focke-Wulf line.
The Focke-Wulf.
Yeah, so we in addition to adding 5 new tier 5 premium planes, we also added the Focke-Wulf line, which is a very historically iconic line of planes. It sort of started coming into creation in the early or mid 1930s. Super fun. Let's see, how would I describe the Focke-Wulf line?